Stranger Things, created by the Duffer Brothers, became a popular cultural phenomenon with its blend of horror, sci-fi, and 80s connection. The Netflix original show follows a bunch of friends who must contend with demonic threats with the aid of a mystery girl. Talking of bloopers, you know that scene with Eleven at the skating rink? Mike visits Eleven and Will in California for spring break in Season 4, Episode 2. Elle chooses to take Mike to the skating rink, accompanied by Will. However, Eleven's bully Angela is also present, and she gathers her buddies to encircle Eleven on the skating rink and call her names like Freak. The scenario concludes with someone tossing a milkshake at Eleven, who runs away weeping. Well, in stark contrast to the distressing actual scene and the bloopers we see, Millie crouched down skating towards Noah and, well, whatever they were apparently trying to do doesn't come to fruition, and instead, they both collide and fall down laughing. Chaotic energy we love to see. Sean Levy, the executive producer, addressed why Stranger Things Season 4 was released separately in parts 1 and 2. Stranger Things 3 concluded with the action-heavy Battle of Starcourt, and fans have been eagerly anticipating Season 4, which the Duffer Brothers had promised would have some huge changes. Stranger Things Season 4 has lengthier episodes, including a movie-length climax, and is released in 2 parts. The 9-episode season is divided into 2 volumes, Volume 1, 7 episodes, Volume 2, 2 episodes. Levy spoke on the various changes the latest season brought to the series when Season 4 was released, including its release being divided into 2 parts. According to Levy, the main motivation for the 2-part rollout was purely a need for additional time. He revealed that they were aware that the final 2 episodes of Season 4 would take time to be completed, but they didn't want viewers to have to wait much longer for the remainder of the season. Because Season 4 Volume 2 was delayed, they were able to stick the landing on their adventurous season finale. They didn't believe that all 9 episodes would be completed on time, and because they had already made the people wait long enough, if they could produce the first 7, it would be such a thrilling turning point and compensation that it would keep people engaged for a few weeks, allowing them to finish Volume 2. Every streaming platform is experimenting with different release methods in order to enhance audience retention. We've seen full-season, binge-worthy streaming in recent years, such as Stranger Things 1, 2, and 3. We've seen Disney Plus and Hulu experiment with weekly models, which didn't sit well with creators of Season 4. A season in 2 parts also allows them to end on a high note by concluding the last 2 episodes powerfully. As we've seen, this season focuses on cutting-edge visual effects and world building, and as one might expect, Volume 2 will be quite ambitious in its storyline, and the creators just need somewhat more time to finish strong. Levy's reasoning makes the choice to delay the release of Volume 2 appear more practical than narratively inspired, but this doesn't mean the gap in Season 4 will lose viewers' attention. The biggest mystery since Stranger Things Season 1 established the Upside Down has been how the lab originally gained access to it. With a flashback involving Eleven and Vecna, the final episode of Season 4 Volume 1 ultimately revealed the answer. It also promised viewers that the remaining questions will be addressed soon. According to Levy, Vecna and Eleven's past is sufficient to keep people nourished until the remaining season is aired. With Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2 still coming, there's no telling what the future holds for Eleven and her friends, and it remains to be seen whether the last 2 episodes will be worth the extra wait. The extended episode lengths and Levy's explanation seem to hint that they will be bigger than anything the show has done before, but they have also raised expectations to match. Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2 premieres on Netflix on July 1st. Levy was questioned about his opinions on the show's super dark shift from Season 1 to Season 4. Levy acknowledged that there were some worries on his part. He was frequently concerned that the series was becoming too dark and might turn off the younger viewers who had gravitated towards it. Initially, they had intended Season 1 to be a viewing experience for anyone aged 13 and over. Since then, we've seen that children as young as 9 and 10 are enjoying Stranger Things. Levy admits that he was mindful that the 4th season might be especially scarier for some of those fans. The Duffers reminded him that every time they went darker, their fanbase stayed with them or even grew. Though the stats for Season 4 aren't in yet, he's still observing what he's seen in every previous season, a high level of social media participation and passion. And once again, it appears that going darker has benefited the show rather than harmed it. It may have helped since the show and its audience are maturing and growing alongside the teenage stars. He regards it as the show's strength. Stranger Things is always balanced with its soul no matter how dark it gets. That, along with the Duffers' aesthetic sensibilities, is what distinguishes Stranger Things and makes the show so addictive. In the characters' narratives, there's this comforting and passion-beating heart, and that's the antidote. That's the counterbalance for all the graphic violence and horror. He truly believes that one without each other would not function as well as Stranger Things appears to. And while we wait for Volume 2 to roll out, let's look at some questions that the show has to answer in the next 2 episodes. The first question has to be, is Max free from Vecna's curse, or is she still in trouble? Let us begin by acknowledging that Sadie Sink was fantastic this season. The Stranger Things ensemble has been super busy over the previous 2 years, and Sink's exceptional performance as Max Mayfield, who fell victim to Vecna's curse, just adds to her already stellar CV. However, in episode 4, Max appears to have found a way out of Vecna's curse by listening to her favorite song repeatedly, as it serves as a link to the real world that protects her from Vecna's horror in the Upside Down. But as we can see, Vecna is still taking lives even if Max has freed herself. Does this indicate she is now entirely free of Vecna's curse, or will he still come after her? A popular theory has it that Vecna, who is apparently one, played by newcomer Jamie Campbell-Bower, of Hawkins' laboratory, glimpsed Max's thoughts and saw 11 in them, which drove him to let her free. However, nothing has been proven as to what will happen to Max. Next, the fans would be very curious to know what Nancy's deal is in the Upside Down. Is she Vecna's next victim? During Stranger Things Episode 7, while most of the teenagers were exiting the Upside Down after going through the Watergate, Nancy appeared to be trapped within and under Vecna's spell. However, her account of what she might be going through differs greatly from that of the other Vecna victims. Instead, she is told about Vecna's background, which leads her to believe that Vecna is one. She doesn't appear to be under any death curse, but her position isn't looking good either, so will she be Vecna's next victim? Okay, this is a big one. How on earth is Dr. Brenner still alive? How Dr. Brenner is still alive is a massive plot hole from the first half of Season 4 that everyone is still baffled about. Dr. Brenner was supposed to be dead when the Demogorgon reportedly attacked him in Season 1, yet here he is, very much alive in Season 4. This has gone utterly unexplained during his time on Season 4. One theory is that it could be because he's currently a significant part of Eleven's recuperation in order for her to reclaim her powers. We'll most likely receive some type of clarification in the next 2 episodes, but that doesn't keep us from still being perplexed. Not that big of a question, but a valid one nonetheless. How come the Upside Down is stuck in 1983? We're all for going through Nancy's old diary entries about her in The Amazing Steve's early days, but the bigger question is, why is the Upside Down seemingly frozen in 1983? Season 4 appears to place a strong focus on the use of time. Vecna exclusively targets teens due to a certain period in their lives. Whenever he attacks, a grandfather clock illusion frequently precedes his blows. We go back and forth through time to see 11 as a child, so it's evident that time is essential in this season. But that doesn't clarify why the Upside Down is set in 1983, despite the fact that this season is occurring in 1986. Maybe it's just because that's when the outside world began to become entangled in the Upside Down on a constant basis, but so far, nothing has been addressed. What are the Russians doing with the Demogorgon? We all know that Russians have played an important role in Stranger Things since the start of Season 3, but it's still unclear how they obtained a Demogorgon in Russia, of all countries. In Season 3, the Russians had an entry into the Upside Down beneath Starcourt Mall, which was apparently eliminated. And even if they did manage to get one out before it occurred, how was it transferred all the way to Russia? That thing is out of control. We cannot be sure how they managed to get it there unless there's some additional entry in the country that we're not yet aware of. Hopper even brought up the subject at one time during the season, so even the protagonists are confused. Coming to Callie, did she escape before the massacre, or did one somehow miss her? If you'll recall from Season 2, 11 had a run-in with several kids with similar abilities to hers. One of them was Callie. She was a former Hawkins laboratory fellow who was categorized as 8 and had the ability to generate illusions. Season 4 has several flashbacks to 11's time at Hawkins, as well as the discovery of who is truly responsible for the Hawkins laboratory massacre, which was entirely one's responsibility. But this begs the question, how did Callie get out of there? Seriously. 11 wasn't much older than Callie. Did she discover a method to escape beforehand, or did one simply miss her? While some were not fans of Callie's storyline in Season 2, this is an important moment in the narrative that has to be addressed. Otherwise, it gives the impression that the entire plot was put in for no reason. Now would be an excellent time for someone like Callie to re-enter the scene. Some logistical problems for the beloved characters. How are Joyce, Hopper, and Murray planning on getting back to America? They're stranded in Russia, like literally stuck, and it's difficult to see how Hopper, Joyce, and Murray will return to America. While they had Yuri's jet that brought them to Russia, it was wrecked and there aren't any passenger planes readily accessible for them to jump back on for a return to the United States. There's also the reality that they are state enemies and it's unlikely that the Russians will let them go easy. We're all desperately rooting for them. Well, that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this one, please sure to give us the thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more movies and shows and related news, and we'll see you next time. Bye.